most Christians, those who identify themselves with a visible church, have had 5 serious relationships prior to being married. When we cleave to someone of the opposite sex, whenever two people of the opposite sex come together in some relationship that has the hint of romantic to it, hint of companionship to it, there is a binding, a meshing, a melding in a way, a welding. And so what happens? You get to your marriage one day and you're not whole because you've already given part of you to 5 different people. And on your marriage night, you're not alone. Those 5 people come with you, whether you realize it or not. And whether you realize it or not, it will affect the way you look at your wife, the way you look at your husband. It will affect everything about your marriage more than you would dare to believe. And it was never God's intention.
Now my heart's desire is to know you more, to be found in you and known as yours.
The Bible says, do not awaken love before it's time. And I'm afraid that's happening every day. Because of media, because of television, because of parents who allow their children to watch things they shouldn't even watch themselves.
Knowing you, Jesus, knowing you, there is no greater thing.
A 16-year-old boy starts dating. He has become nothing of a man. He is a little boy who wants to play the games of men and yet does not want to assume the responsibility of men. And our culture doesn't want him to either. It's just like you want to have some sort of a relationship with a girl when you're 16 years old, but you're not willing nor are you able to assume the responsibility for that girl. Which makes a very dangerous thing in 2 ways. Gets you in a lot of trouble. Another way is you never have to grow up. You get exactly what you want without ever having to assume the responsibility for it.
Knowing you, there is no greater thing. You're my all, you're the best. You're my joy, my righteousness.
Let me give you just a kind of a little illustration here. Let's say that I get up and I go out to my truck and it's gone. I'm calling the police. I'm mad as a hornet, everything else. My truck's just gone. And all of a sudden, at 10 o'clock in the morning, you come tooling up in my truck and you go, "Hey, Mr. Washer, thank you. Here's the keys. See you later." I got a place where I bury people like you behind my barn. That would be such an offense. Well, let me ask you something. Did you buy that truck? No. Did you do anything to keep that truck going? No. Do you have any right to touch that truck? No. Then what makes you think you have the right to touch another man's daughter? What makes you think you have the right to draw near to another man's daughter without talking to that man first? Because according to the Bible, she is under the authority of her father, and you are to honor her father.
There is no greater thing. You're my all, you're the
That it is not your right as a young man to go to that girl and ask her out on a date. No more and even less than it is for you to just come into my driveway and take my car. That girl is under the authority of her father. And if you're going to honor her father, you're going to speak to him first and get permission from him. Instead of sending some little boy that runs around with you to go talk to one of her little friends to find out if it's okay if you draw near because you're not courageous enough even to approach a little girl. You say, this is ludicrous. Yeah, there's a lot of things about holiness that's ludicrous to a carnal mind. Most of you have already gone too far, and you know it. and this would have stopped you. And the fact of the matter is, you're not going to get spiritual enough to withstand youthful lust. You've got to flee from it or fall before it. But you can't escape it.
And I love you, Lord.
Girls, you have to be very, very careful. If you're a godly girl and somehow it gets out that you're interested in a guy and he thinks that you're really beautiful, he'll jump through hoops for a beautiful girl. He'll change the way, superficially, he'll seem to change his character, he'll change his way of life and absolutely everything else until he has you.